All right, folks, the latest on what we're expecting for tomorrow, looking like a pretty good bet that we're going to see some wintry weather. Snow looks to be the main thing as we go through tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. And here's what was issued today from the National Weather Service, a winter storm warning. That's for all of central Georgia in the pink shaded area. And then you have the winter weather advisory up top. It's the opposite of what we normally see here, when usually the winter storm warning is going on for North Georgia and we're on the edge of it. That's the way it was a week or so ago. This time, though, this one's lined up right at us. All right, so here's a quick look at the graph model. Notice that it shows the white to purple shaded areas, purple being the darker, that's going to be possible heavier snow. These are all snow colors. This is, say, 2 in the afternoon, starting to move in from the southwest. It doesn't ever show any of the sleet, freezing rain, or rain colors. It shows it all snow as we go through the afternoon. Once again, as we have learned before, things can change. But as we get on through the evening time, still going, and then at some point, once we get into the 8, 9 o'clock hour, if this model's right, then it starts to peel away into our southeastern counties and then moving away toward midnight or so. Now that's just one model take. Here's the NAM right here. This one shows maybe a flurry or two in the morning. So that's interesting. It also shows the potential for maybe some sort of a mix or rain during the day when we could be in the mid-30s, a little bit above freezing. And then trying to switch over as we go through the afternoon here. And now we're talking about all snow, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So they're all leaning in on eventually all snow. There's this question about timing, when does that start, all that. You can still see a midnight tomorrow night, the potential. This one goes longer with the snow, even going into early Wednesday morning. How about the high-res model? This one picks up with the same kind of thing. It tries to show a little bit of a mix, maybe some off and on rain during the day, and then changing over to snow. So at some point, I think we're going to have snow coming through the core of central Georgia, and the farther south you go, which is a little bit odd, is kind of the better chance of you seeing some bigger totals unless the system shifts north or south one way or the other. So I think we're going to, definitely whatever falls is going to accumulate because we're going to have some really cold stuff tomorrow night. So travel is going to be a problem. We may see 30s to get a little bit of a thaw as we go into Wednesday, but then refreezing again Thursday night. Okay, so I'm going to 13 WMAZ Plus. I'm going there right now. Join us over there, Facebook Live, YouTube, all that stuff, and I'll answer some questions, and then we'll do this again on TV coming up at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. See you on the Plus app. Come on over. Okay, folks, if you are with us now, we're on 13 WMAZ Plus and all of our other platforms here. And what we can do is some kind of question and answer stuff here. So I'm looking over at the side. I want you to see the winter storm warning, which is for our whole area, starting tomorrow morning into Wednesday morning. So a pretty good chance of seeing some snow out of this as we get into the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Let's see what kind of questions we have. Warner Robins closed their school system, so this must be serious. They don't close for nothing, says Deborah. That's a good point. Yep, that's usually, when you see Houston County go, it's usually like, this is not a drill. Yeah, a lot of schools closed. Now, again, most of the snow is probably going to be, unless some of these other models are right, more kind of afternoon into the evening time. But again, we could have a few little things popping up early in the morning. Again, just showing you the graph model here. One of the main ones that we look at, that you see this one every day actually, it shows no sort of mix. There's no pink, for sleet, freezing rain, no green for rain. It just shows it coming in as snow at like 1, 2 in the afternoon and just going as we go through the day. And notice this one's lined up just for us. I mean, it is like a central Georgia lineup. And as we go through 5, 6 in the afternoon, still the potential for this is 6 to 7. And it probably, unless something changes, I know it's weird, the farther south and east you go, or it may be snowing longer, because this is starting to kind of peel away at nighttime, we may see some of the bigger totals the farther south you go. It's flip-flop from what we normally see. It's usually always North Georgia, and then we're just looking for scraps here on the southern end of it. Let's see. Okay, what time is it starting to come through for sites? Just tuning in, getting home from work. Different models are showing different things there, so Ashley, don't hold me to that, but it looks like somewhere around 2 starting to come in. And just backing the model up there. Should I crank up the truck in the morning? Well, if you're going somewhere in the morning, I think that'd be a good idea. Not going to get very far. Let's see. What about Albany? Actually, yeah, there's a chance of snow in Albany. What time does it come through Milledgeville? As far as coming through, that's going to take hours for it to come through, but it looks like probably, I would still bet on most places about a 2 o'clock arrival. The farther east you are, maybe 3. And again, that's just on that model. Let's see what the NAM has to say about it. It's a different model. It tries to show a few flurries in the morning. I don't know if I buy that, but possible. There's 9 in the morning. And then going forward, again, at this time, if we're a little bit above freezing, then we would have something not frozen. There could be kind of a sleet mix, maybe a few raindrops in there. But notice as you get into the afternoon on this model, again, this is the NAM here. This, as we get into the hours heading towards sunset here, then you're starting to drop below freezing. And notice how it changes it all over to snow. Also, something to point out, this model was right on with that last system over a week ago. It was showing it mainly North Georgia and just grazing our northern counties. It was right. It never showed anything for us on that one. Never showed snow. But now it is everywhere. So got to really pay attention to that too. I mean, there's so many models that are saying it. I mean, it would be amazing if it didn't happen. Let's put it that way. Would you recommend to not be on the roads in Warner Robins after 5 p.m. Tuesday? That's probably a good idea. I would go ahead and get where you need to be a little after lunchtime tomorrow. I'm not saying this is going to be a blizzard, but obviously we're not used to this sort of thing, and we don't know exact rainfall total, or not rainfall, snowfall totals just yet. And once again, with the temperature profile and everything we have at the surface, how cold it's going to be, whatever does fall is going to stick. And it'll be around tomorrow night, and we're only going to be in the 30s Wednesday for a little bit, maybe mid-30s, so there could be a little bit of melt, but then everything refreezes again Wednesday night. So then Thursday could still be a problem if some of the roads that don't get traveled as much are still a little bit of a mess. So I don't know, we'll see. Carl, how many inches are we talking here? Well, this is what our man David Guerrero put out there. He's been crunching numbers all weekend, and he really put a lot of effort into this. This is not, and he even said too, this is not gospel, obviously, but this just kind of shows, and I know if you're looking at this, you're like, that makes no sense. How is it smaller amounts north, bigger amounts south? Well, that's the way this one's setting up. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to shake out exactly this way, but just with comparing all the different models and the math that goes into all these things, this is what he's come up with. And I think it's pretty close to what we could see. And there's a wide range. I mean, like look through the Macon area, 1/2 inch to 2 inches. So the low end and high end of each range gets a little bit higher as you go down farther south. If this thing just were to jog a little bit farther north, then all these totals obviously go up for all of us. This is just what we know so far. I'm going to do a couple more questions because we're doing this again at 8 o'clock, and then we're going to do it at 9 o'clock. And then on our CW channel, we're going to do the 10 o'clock show there, and then obviously the 11 o'clock show later tonight. So we'll be doing stuff on the hour. So let's see, I'll do one more. See, if you live in Bibb County, when should we not be traveling? Again, once we get into about 2 in the afternoon tomorrow, unless this speeds up, and I want you all to listen to all these words because somebody will come back later, well, you said this, or you didn't say this, or whatever. Any of this stuff can still change. Every bit of it can still change. I mean, when I say change, the timing, it could come in earlier. It could last longer. These snowfall amounts could go smaller, or they could be larger. There could be areas that it's a little bit of a mix, but there are so many models showing this, which is snow. So once we start getting into 2, 3, definitely more 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and now we're getting below freezing and stuff's starting to really stick. You don't really want to be on the road at that point. All right, guys, so we will end this one right here, and I'll come back. We'll do a quick thing on TV at the top of the 8 o'clock hour and then jump back over here and do this again. I will see you then.